So that brings us right
Yes,
into literally and figuratively the new Dark Ages.
that's right. The present day, and Ronan did it again. Yeah, man, this record was a lot easier to make. It took a lot longer to make because of the pandemic. You know, it's like 5 years. We were actually ready to record it before the pandemic started. Then the really slowed things down. We basically didn't work on it for 2 years, but we did a bunch of other stuff that was really cool. And including writing a graphic novel that goes with this record.
Great Z2 Comics, who's been doing a lot of great stuff in the music space.
Yep. And this record, man, I mean, it's the first time we've linked a graphic novel to the content of an album. And it's just been really fun. I mean, doing that gave us cool stuff to write about. The whole thing was, it just became an easy and very fun project to do. And, you know, we're getting the humor back. People are going to, you know, that's coming in more. I mean, it's hard to write. You know, it's like old Casey Kasem would say, you know, there's that recording of him cursing, "Why are you going to give me a death dedication to a goddamn dog when I'm trying to be," you know, it's like, you know, it's very similar to that. It's like, how are you going to be funny on this record that's about grief, right? Like, so there's more room for that on this record. And it's there. And we had a lot of fun with it. And we also were able to play with styles a little bit more than we have done in the past. And a lot of people are hearing that. They hear, you know, I mean, it's a record that has thrash metal, it's got doom metal, it's got Alice Cooper sounding stuff, it's got Queen sounding stuff, it's got David Bowie sounding stuff on it. I mean, you know, and when I say sounding stuff, I just mean songs that once they're written, when I listen to it, it's like, oh, I can hear how this is influenced by this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it always comes through. I mean, every great band is the sum total of its influences through the prism of the personalities and life experience of people writing and playing it. So and a lot of those reference points and what you're describing is really the totality. It's fun to arrive here at this point in the conversation doing something like the disc dive, because you can really see the through line and how the Dark Ages record is like all of this stuff that's come before.
It really is.
One spot.
And it's, you know, and it's still hard, man. It's still hard to write lyrics to a GWAR song, but doing the comic, you get some topics and it's not hard. One thing that the pandemic gave us was some stuff to write about. I mean, for sure. Like you look around, it's like, although some of the songs were written, you know, a song like Rise Again, which is this weird, like, again, it's a deliberately sort of almost Southern rock sounding song, but with some other elements in it. But we had written it before the George Floyd protests. Like we wrote it, you know, when we were in the course of writing the record, which we were getting ready to record, literally like the month I had started going to rehearsals for the album, for tracking the album. And then like my plane ticket got canceled because of COVID. So it was, and then later, obviously, like over the summer, you know, they pulled down the statues in GWAR's adopted hometown of Richmond, Virginia, to the Confederate monuments. And the song we had written was about the monuments coming to life, right? And it was an old idea in GWAR. It'd been around for a while. Like it was written in originally a Hunter Jackson comic for GWAR that had that idea in it. And so we just kind of built on it, you know. And then the statues came down for real, you know, so we had to change the focus of the song a little bit. And it wasn't hard to look at, you know, the world where people are conspiracy theories part of the theme of it was like, what if all of these conspiracy theories, we treated them all as if they were just absolutely true, and that's kind of what we tried to do with it, with the comic anyway.
I was going to say it was almost perfect timing anyway.
yeah, really.
With the exception of saying, "Hey, that was cool. See you later." It was like it could have just been like,
yeah. All right. Well, but hey,
the ultimate Irish goodbye interview style.
It was cool to talk to you.
Yeah, man. This is awesome. Yeah, I had so much fun when we did the RoboCop thing, and as soon as I started doing the Disc Live thing, during the pandemic, actually, had penciled you in as a potential guest. So I'm glad we were able to make it happen.
I said, yeah, and you can cut. I mean, I'm sure we're going to probably need to cut it down to make it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Usually, how we've been doing them, we learned this after the first couple. One of the first ones I did was with Ace Frehley, by the way. Speaking of Kiss,
God, that's a long dive.
It was a long dive, and still YouTube comments going, "Well, you just like rushed right through Love Gun or whatever," Like, dude, there's a lot. We got Frehley's Comet coming up, but so the way we've learned to do them now is we cut them into like 5-10 minute episodes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Cool. And that way we can roll it out over, a couple months even. So it's like this week, these 3 records, and the next week's these 3 records, or these 2 or whatever. So
yeah.
Awesome. Dialing it. And then once all the videos are out, then the whole thing comes out as a podcast because people are accustomed to listening to an hour or 2 podcast.
Right.
So
cool.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do it. I know it's a Herculean effort, but it's fun.
Yeah, man.
Super fun. And I'll tell you the same thing I probably told you last time. And I did have the opportunity. I didn't know Brocky, but I did. I manage a producer, and at some point him and I were exchanging emails about him maybe making a GWAR record.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's somewhere in those exchanges I got to tell him that at that GWAR show at the Howard Johnson's is also where I had my first kiss.
Oh, wow.
So I will always have that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's all.
Who is the producer?
He usually gets that reaction. Zeus.
Okay.
He's in Massachusetts. He's done the last few Rob Zombie records, and he's doing his scoring stuff now too. He just did the score for the Munsters and did 3 from Hell before that, and then he's done like every Hatebreed record, last couple of Queensryche. But yeah, this was obviously quite a while back, but I don't even remember who connected us, but we were emailing back and forth at one point, and after like the 4th or 5th email, I was like, I'm just gonna tell him. and yeah, he said something just like that, like, "I'm sorry" or something like that. But yeah, I always have that connection with GWAR, man. It's awesome.
All right.
So yeah. Well,
thank you, sir.
Till next time. Thank you so much.
All right. Take it easy.
Cheers.